I love it when I make a prediction and it comes true. It's not that often, so let me rejoice in it. What do you think I'm talking about? I'll tell you as soon as we come back. We're going to have a great show. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance.
Welcome to the program, friend. You might have guessed it. You might have already heard about it. Former President Trump is rolling out a new media platform to compete with Twitter and Facebook. I am so thankful. I am so excited. Now, for those of you who are regular viewers of the program, you know that when President Trump lost the election, I said on this show repeatedly, over and over, President Trump needs to start a social media platform that could compete with these evildoers at Facebook, at Twitter, at Google, and that's exactly what they're doing. So I've got the press release in front of me. And there's a lot of stuff here that's technical, which I won't read, but I want to read President Trump's statement. President Donald J. Trump, the chairman of TMTJ, that's the Trump Media and Technology Group. He said, and I quote, "I created Truth Social and TMTJ to stand up to the tyranny of big tech. We live in a world where the Taliban has a huge presence on Twitter, yet your favorite American president has been silenced. This is unacceptable. I am very excited to send out my first truth on Truth Social very soon. TMTJ was founded with a mission to give a voice to all. I'm excited to soon begin sharing my thoughts on Truth Social and to fight back against big tech. Everyone asks me, why doesn't someone stand up to big tech? Well, we will be soon." I put that T up there. So here's their logo, their T, very plain, very stark, very bold, right out there in front of you. I don't mean plain in the sense of boring. I mean just you can't miss it. If you're a mile away and you see that T, you're probably going to be seeing it on billboards. You know, those electronic billboards when you're going through cities and then they roll, they change. This is cool. Now, they're not just going to do like a competition with Twitter. They're also going to have a platform where people can buy programming. So I gotta read this one thing. This is a riot. Additionally, TMTJ intends to launch a subscription video on-demand service, and it will feature non-woke entertainment programming, news, podcasts, and more. TMTJ has named Scott St. John as leader of TMTJ Corporate Operations. Scott St. John is the executive producer of Deal or No Deal, America's Got Talent, and has produced over 1,000 hours of network and cable TV. So this is a seasoned television producer, and they're bringing him on board. Oh, this is exciting. I was talking last night with some guests that we had, and the discussion of big tech came up. And this is somebody who is in the industry of producing college material online. So he is an executive in a huge company that does millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of business with colleges. And I remember 20, 25 years ago, he was saying to me, the day is coming when you're going to be able to have an electronic book in your hand. All they have to do is figure out how to make it comfortable for people to hold and for their eye. And I was like, you're out of your mind. I want a book. I want to turn the pages. Of course, Kindle, all these different devices. Now it's a fact of life. People just have these devices. That's how far back he goes in the industry, and that's how much knowledge and foresight he had. But we were discussing how we have been silenced. So I had COVID, and now I pray it's safe. Don't put anything in the thing about it. But my doctor prescribed ivermectin to me. So that is a very common drug. And I got a strike against me because I talked about the fact of what my doctor prescribed to me. Like, you can't even discuss. There is no treatment for COVID. If you get it, you're either going to live or you're going to die. Take a couple aspirin, take a couple Tylenol, and go home. Now, of course, we have doctors that are treating it with various protocols, but big tech was hell-bent on keeping any discussion off of their platforms. Any. The doctor who treated President Trump when President Trump had COVID is a brilliant doctor, and he has been ridiculed, mocked, but he's been right. He's been right. So anyway, the stranglehold that big tech has on the flow of information is unprecedented. I have been in the media for a long time, both as a host and as a guest. Front page of the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, Washington Post, newspapers and television shows all across the world. One-on-one interview with Dan Rather, with Leslie Stahl. We've never seen something like this, in this country at least, with the suppression of truth. And the amount of people that get their news and their information from big tech is growing by leaps and bounds on an almost daily basis. They control what we see. They control what we hear. They control what we read. Therefore, they control what we think. By controlling the narrative, they can control what we think, and what we think is usually the foundation for what we believe and then what we do. So I'm going to take a break. President Trump, my hat's off to you. I don't know how to get this stock, but I bet you, whatever this stock offer, it's a stock offering. You're going to see something happen. I bet it's going to be volatile, but CNN and NBC, MSNBC already carping. This will never work. Trump's not going to be able to pull this off. There's not enough conservative voices out there to support this. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like what these morons, you morons, you know who I'm talking about, you big tech morons and you liars at CNN and MSNBC, you morons said that Trump could never be president. You mocked. You mocked. You made a joke out of it. And he won the presidency in spite of you. So you can gainsay and you can mock all you want. We'll see how many people out there are saying, yeah, count me in. And they want that big T instead of the F or the G. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Welcome back, friend. All right, so thank goodness that President Trump and his family are going to launch this platform. I am so excited. And believe me, these are professionals. They will make this work. They will. Dire famine. All right, so what I was talking about in the last segment was we are affected by what we hear. He who controls the narrative controls the story and controls what people think and then controls what we think is important and what we think we should do. The climate change hoax is at the center of this. Now, should we pollute? No, of course not. I grew up with a mom and dad who were very liberal and who loved the planet and were all about not littering. I mean, littering was nearly a capital offense in our home. We would pick up litter. So, yeah, we shouldn't pollute our water. We should take care to not harm animals, etc. But what we're seeing right now today, this narrative that began in the 60s, is based upon people with faulty information and faulty conclusions. And these are people who think that they're smart, and they're not. If you look at where these people live who are making these dire predictions, you know that they don't get out much. They just don't. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me read you some of these predictions. Breitbart put together a list of 50 predictions that are from books, magazines, Time Magazine, Newsweek, whatever. So they started in 1967. In 67, it was predicted that there would be dire famine in 1975. Didn't have that one. In 1969, everyone will disappear in a blue, misty cloud of blue steam by 1989. That didn't happen. No, that wasn't about the rapture either, by the way. In 1970, they were predicting an ice age by the year 2000. Then they changed the prediction. They said, wait a minute, we got it wrong. It'll be by 2020 or 2030. Then they circled back around and said, no, the ice age is going to happen in 2070. And then, this is number 7, space satellites show new ice age is coming fast. So they're saying, based upon what satellites we have in 1974, we know that there's an ice age coming fast. Just picture really slow-moving ice coming through Chicago and Detroit, upstate New York, just taking out all the houses and the utilities and businesses in slow motion. Didn't happen. Ozone depletion. This is 1974. Ozone depletion, a great peril to life. The ozone is being built and broken down on a regular basis, the ionosphere on a daily basis. This is 1976. Scientific consensus, follow the science. Planet cooling, famines imminent. Planet cooling, famines imminent. Was there famines? Nope. Acid rain kills life in lakes. 1980. No end in sight to 30-year cooling trend. That was 1978. Then, of course, they had to change it to global warming. You remember that? See, this is why follow the science means nothing. Not with these people, I mean, by the way. This is 1988. Regional droughts that never happened will be happening in the 1990s. 1988, they predicted temperatures in D.C. will hit record highs. 1988 predicted the Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. They're not. This is 1989. Rising sea levels will obliterate nations if nothing is done by the year 2000. Rising sea levels obliterate nations. Now, former President Obama bought a $15 million estate on the ocean. So even though he's a big proponent of climate change and that, these cities are going to be underwater, evidently he's got a good insurance policy. He can take his private helicopter or however he moves these days, and he can fly out if he sees that big ocean rising coming up to the living room window, or maybe a tsunami coming at them. They can't flee a tsunami. Anyway, listen to this one. In the year 2000, children won't know what snow is. Imagine a world without sledding, snow skiing, Santa, snowmen. They lied. It wasn't true. 2002, famine will occur in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. We have to give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. Britain will be Siberia by 2024. That was number 20. Number 21, the Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. The Arctic, this prediction was made in 2008, that the Arctic would be ice-free by 2018. See, these predictions are asinine. Literally asinine. Oh, then about the oil stuff. Department of Energy says oil will peak in the 90s. Peak oil. Then they talk about oil literally, we're just running out. In 1966, they said oil will be gone in 10 years. In 1972, they said oil will be gone in 20 years. I am one of those people who believes in science, and I don't believe for a second that oil is a fossil fuel, that it's being made and remade around dinosaur bones, okay? This is one of the most ludicrous, absurd theories. If you think about, it's a renewable resource. Oil is a renewable resource, okay? It's happening below the surface of the earth on a regular basis. If you think of the amount of oil that has been pumped out of the earth, okay? Saudi Arabia would collapse. the caverns that would be below them would be so massive. And how did all those dinosaurs, those very few dinosaurs, how did their bones get in the mix to make billions and billions and billions of barrels of oil? Do you start to see how stupid some of this stuff is? And it comes from a political, anti-Christian background. The Malthusians, based upon a guy named, if my memory is correct, Joseph Malthus, who was an Episcopalian priest who wrote in the 1800s that the world was going to run out of resources. Massive starvation was coming, and that we should stop having so many children. These were anti-child bigots, anti-Christian bigots, because the scriptures teach us to be fruitful and multiply, to subdue the earth. The Malthusians say, no, there's not enough room on the earth for all of us. 1 billion people, and we're going to be choked out to death. That's what they were predicting. We're at 7 billion. Things are going great. These are people who do not believe in science. They have a political agenda that human beings are the problem. The earth is good. People are bad. That's what they believe. And the communists and the socialists have embraced this with the fall of the Soviet Union. A lot of those thinkers for Marxism went right into the green movement and started promoting their nonsense. They can't tell what it is. Is it climate? Is it global warming, or is it global cooling? They finally had to admit they don't know, and they had to just call it climate change. I mean, the climate changes? Huh. Sounds to me like you're covering all your bets. Yeah. It got really hot. Oh, climate change. It got really cold. Climate change. Oh, you're a genius. You figured out that there's a change in the climate. I've got to take a break. I will be right back. Don't believe this stuff. Okay? Treat your neighborhood and your ozone, your personal ozone layer, treat it well, but don't believe for a second that we're going to run out of food, or that an ice age is coming, or that the Arctic is going to melt. Which is it? Is it going to be glaciers coming down, or the Arctic Circle melting? You can't have it both ways. I'll be right back. I encourage you to go find that list on Breitbart and pass it around. I didn't get through all of them. There were so many there. The point is that we're being had. We're being had. And people are altering their lifestyles. And, Ocasio-Cortez saying she's afraid to bring a child into the world because the world might not be here in 10 years or 12 years. Friends, it's just not true. The world is going to be here till the end of time when Jesus comes back. Okay? That's what's going to happen. This nonsense about an ice age coming and wiping out massive cities, or the Arctic thawing and flooding cities, it's all nonsense. It's all designed to make people afraid and to help destroy the Western economies, America in particular. Okay? If they literally did what they wanted to do with how we use fossil fuels for our economy, they would destroy our economy, which is what some people really want to do. Why? Why do they hate America? Well, why do they hate God? And I'm not equating God with America. My point is that America holds a unique place in human history based upon our philosophy, our founding principles of freedom and liberty, with the gross exception of slavery, the hypocrisy of slavery. The leftists, the socialists, the communists, the statists, they hate America. And the people in the Democrat Party, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, all these different people that are trying so hard to destroy America, it's because they hate the principles that governed us. And they're replacing them with socialist principles. I've got to take another break. I'll be right back with one last word of encouragement. Don't go away. Welcome back, friend. As you know, the president was trying to get a $3.5 trillion or a $4 trillion bill passed. The numbers were all over the place. Now they're saying, well, maybe it'll be between 1.5 and 2 trillion. Please understand something. They're still going to start the programs. So rather than fund them for 10 years, they'll fund them for, say, 3 years. And then when the 3 years are up and people are used to getting that little government jackaroni, they're going to be saying, oh, we've got to refund it. So if they succeed in what they're doing, they're going to get their way. It's just going to be on the installment plan, like Obamacare. Republicans said, we're going to overturn Obamacare. As soon as they controlled the presidency in both houses, they wouldn't do it. My encouragement to you is to just be bold in whatever circle that you're in. Take the Breitbart thing and send it around to people. Talk about these things at work, with your friends. Just learn to be bold in whatever field, whatever arena God has given you. Because if we are bold for the truth, if we are bold for justice, truth has within it the seeds of its own victory. Lies have within them the seeds of their own destruction. We just need bold planters of the truth. God bless you.